Good morning, fabulous Frank families. And I'm glad everyone is safe and well, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our friends in Louisiana. Since we did not get to have our principal question and answer Zoom, I wanted to address several things that came up in the question and answer form that you submitted, because I know these are important things that you want to know as we make preparations for the beginning of school. So this will be kind of a long video, so if you want to watch it in bits and pieces, that's fine. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our classes. We had several questions come through regarding classes and will my child have the same teacher, and what about switch classes, and a bunch of different things regarding our classes. So the way we have our classes set up in K through 2, we have 3 on-campus teachers and 2 online teachers. That way, students who are participating online will get the teacher's full attention for the full day, and those students who are participating on campus will also have the full attention of their teacher. A question came up about class size. We did not get any recommendations to lower class sizes, and so our class size ratio could be up to 23 to 1. Most of our classes are not that large, but should we have new enrollees during this time, then it could be up to a full class size. Switch classes. So that affects our 3rd through 5th grade students. And so the way that our 3rd through 5th grade is set up is you will have a switch teacher. We have in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we do have one self-contained classroom where the teacher will be having on-campus students, and she'll teach all subjects for the full day. And then we have 2 pairs in each grade level. And of those 2 pairs, one is math and science, and the second one is English, language arts, and social studies. And the way the classes are set up is that one homeroom is all online kids, and the other homeroom is all on-campus kids. And so, for example, if I'm the math teacher, in the morning, I might teach my on-campus kids math. And then in the afternoon, I would teach my online students math. And then vice versa for the ELA teacher, so that all on-campus kids are getting the teacher's full attention, and then all online kids are getting the teacher's full attention. So several questions came up regarding if my child comes back to campus, will they have the same teacher as they did for their online teacher? So, once the decisions were made, and those were all asked to be final by the 25th of August, that's your decision for the first 9 weeks. And so at the end of that 9 weeks, when students do start coming back onto campus, then our teachers will have had 9 weeks of practice of teaching both on campus and online. And so we feel like we'll be able to seamlessly add those students back into the classroom. So if I was only an online teacher and I have 10 of my students coming back, I feel really comfortable in teaching online, and I already know how to teach in person, so that should be seamlessly to blend them back together. So they should have the same teacher, regardless of on campus or online, or if they switch back and forth. Another question came up: if your student had to quarantine, would they seamlessly go to online learning? Absolutely. And they would remain with their same teachers. 3rd through 5th, it wouldn't be any problem, since their teachers are doing both. If they're in K through 2, we feel like the on-campus teacher would be able to do a few students online with a classroom full of kids, with the option being for that child always to go to the fully online class if that was better for that student. So all of our decisions will be made based on what's best for kids. Several questions regarding specials classes and PE. The students will attend PE, music, and art, whether they are on campus or online. We have a master schedule that shows when each grade level goes to those special classes, and students will have access to those classes through links if they're online students, and then they will go in person here on campus. On campus, we do have safety measures in place for all of the different areas. PE students will be placed 10 feet apart so that they can take their mask off while they're doing physical activity. Their activities in the gym this first 9 weeks will be more activities, independent activities rather than group games for safety purposes. And the online students will be able to get online and watch all of the warm-up exercises in person with the PE coaches, get some guidance from the coaches, and then there will be a link for them to go to do their games and so forth. In music class, they will be limiting the use of instruments for safety purposes to things that they can easily sanitize between classes. They will be sending a list home to parents of things you can use at home for some of these activities. And the singing and the music classes, students will be placed 6 feet apart, and they will be asked to wear their mask the full time during music for when they do sing, because research has shown that singing spreads germs a little more quickly than just speaking. So they've taken all the necessary precautions in music. In art class, there will be no shared supplies. Students will all have their own individual art supplies that they will use to do their art. And of course, we'll have the safety procedures set up in the classroom as well. Moving on to safety procedures, there were many questions about how are we going to handle that in the building? How will social distancing be maintained? Will they be able to play at recess? Will they be able to visit with students at lunch, etc.? So we're preparing a video to do a video walkthrough tour of the building to show you all of our safety protocols in place, such as 6 feet spacing dots in the hallway with arrows. We're all going to travel in one direction. We have assigned restrooms for grade levels so that they will not be mixing. We have a plan in place for only 3 students to be in the restroom at one time with supervision. And then, of course, the hand washing will be taught and encouraged, and hand sanitizing stations will be placed right outside the restrooms as well, so they can sanitize before they go in, wash and sanitize when they come out. In the hallways, we will have sanitizing stations throughout the hallways at every entrance and exit. Each classroom will have hand sanitizing materials available. Teachers will also have cleaning solutions in their classroom to sanitize between use of different materials, and as well as in all areas of the building. All of our sanitation materials, as well as a hand sanitizer, has been approved for student use. The buildings will also be deep cleaned every evening. We have added an extra day custodian to help with sanitizing throughout the day. As far as cafeteria, in the cafeteria, the seats will be placed, the students will be seated 6 feet apart. We do not have dividers in elementary school, so there will be a seat if you've been in our cafeteria. So there will be a seat, 2 blank seats, and a seat. And then on the opposite side, just the opposite. So there's no student across from you, and there's no students directly beside you within 6 feet. The way we have lunch set up is we have specific times for our pre-K and kinder to come into the cafeteria alone, then first grade, second grade, and third grade. And in order to spread those out, our 4th and 5th graders will be eating in their mods. We will have seating spaced out throughout the entire mod to maintain the same 6 feet social distancing while they're eating. Recess, we do want our children to enjoy recess, and they can enjoy recess without a mask as long as they maintain that 6 feet social distancing. They will be able to play on the playscapes, again, with a limited number so we can ensure the social distancing. And of course, the recess is only for our on-campus students. I did have a question regarding PE and recess, and if your student chose online learning, then their full day is online. If they chose on campus, their full day is on campus, and those 2 platforms do not intermingle. I had lots of questions regarding what online is going to look like, how we get set up on Schoology, different things like that. So part of our online simulation that will take place on Monday, we'll go through the schedule. It will help you walk through Schoology. As a parent, you're welcome to sit with your child through the online simulation day so that you can see what is going on. We will be having virtual Meet the Teacher next week, August 31st in the evening. Will be pre-K through 2. and in the evening of September the 1st will be 3 through 5. More specific details about that will come out in an email. School supply distribution is on September the 3rd. Our school day this year is from 8 till 3:30. Questions were asked about GT testing, about 504 accommodations, special education accommodations. Everything will run as normal. Our GT process will follow the same rules as far as dates for submission for testing and then our testing. There will be testing available for our online students as well. 504 accommodations and special education accommodations will all be deliverable, as well as everything in the student's IEP. Our EAS will be getting with families and we'll be having meetings discussing what that will look like if your student is online. Several questions were asked about papers going back and forth. We're going to try to do as much as we can without papers back and forth. We will not have a Wednesday folder. All information will be in a virtual folder in their Schoology account. Of course, we do want students still writing and using paper, but there will be plans in place for how to distribute those papers, how to collect those papers, and how many hands are touching those. Several online parents asked if they would be able to get paper copies, and absolutely, we will be having distribution of paper copies on a regular basis throughout the first 9 weeks to ensure our students at home receive the same materials as our on-campus students. Our curriculum will be exactly the same for online and on campus. All teachers are planning together and all instruction will be the same whether you are on campus or online. Several questions were asked about the flexibility of the online day. All of that will be covered in the online sim and through your classroom teacher. They're going to work with everyone to make the online plan as workable as possible for every family. As far as on-campus learning, we are planning our simulation day on the 2nd. We have not sent a sign-up out about that yet because we didn't want any confusion between the online sim and the on-campus sim. So information to sign up for the on-campus sim will go out on Monday. Several questions. Can I come with my child on the on-campus day? We are not allowing adults in the building. In order for us to maintain safety and our screening processes and tracing processes, the fewer people we can have in the building, the better. We will have our full staff on campus, so that's a process to ensure safety and making sure everyone coming in the building that has to come in the building are safe. We just can't afford that extra screening of adults at this time. So more information, like I said, about that will come out. I had a whole page of questions about masks and a whole page of questions about COVID-19 tracing and school closures and things like that. The district is going to send out a detailed information on both of these things. I will tell you that the mask protocols that we sent out a little earlier have changed a little bit, so please be on the lookout for that. And then once that information comes out from the district, then I will address it specifically for Frank. There were a bunch of general questions just about picture day and lunches and recess and things like that. So we have postponed the fall picture day until late in October in hopes that we will all be back on campus by that time. If not, then we'll make arrangements again. Students may bring their lunches to school. However, we are not accepting any outside lunch deliveries. And of course, lunch will be able to be bought in the cafeteria. Looking at the questions, yes, we asked that all students bring a water bottle. The district has installed 2 water bottle fillers on campus for students to fill their water bottles, as water fountains will not be accessible. There were still some questions regarding technology. If you still need technology for online learning, please email me and I will see about what is still available. If you received a device, but now you're coming on campus, if you would please return that device when you come to school that first day. We have ordered lanyards for all the students to connect their mask, so there's no need for you to purchase those. I think we've got some specific questions, but those are all the main general questions. So I hope I gave you some information and that you can use in planning for our back to school. Again, once the information from the district comes out regarding mask and COVID-19 on Monday, I will do another informational video addressing that specifically at Frank. Thank you so much for your continued support.